Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are joining us today. Today is July 6th. I am Kaitie Zhee, Head of Marketing at FIO, and I am joined today with Eric Butz. He is the VP of Engineering at the Foundation. Say hello, Eric.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
And
everyone.
also we've got Pawel on the call today for this video. Pawel is the Head of Marketing, not the Head of Marketing, forgive me, that's me. Pawel is the Head of Product. And today we're going to be talking about FIO version 3.0, the biggest upgrade that we've had in a long time to the chain, what that means to the community, the block producers, the exchanges, the wallet. How does this impact the ecosystem? How does this help FIO achieve its vision of mass adoption for everybody around the world in self-sovereignty? So we're going to get into some of the details about that. That's why I've got Eric and Pawel on this call. They're going to help me out with the technical details. And also, if you're curious to read a little bit more, some of the write-ups that we've done about this and links that might be interesting for you to read on are going to be in the description below, so you can click there. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah, good to be here.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's a treat when we get to show the community some of the faces behind the scenes that are working with their heads down super diligently, day in and day out. So I'm going to pass this off to whoever wants to start on this to give a little update, maybe a elevator pitch about what FIO version 3.0 is, and then we can kind of get into breaking out the details of some of the upgrades that have been done.
Pawel, did you want to do that or?
Sure. So the 3.0 release is packed with a lot of new features and enhancements to the FIO protocol. We've been working on the FIO Improvement Proposals, which is the a way for us to kind of gather all the feedback from the community, all the things we're doing, and there is a bunch of them. So I will just jump right in and start kind of reviewing what are some of the items that are now possible that were not possible before. So we have ability to transfer FIO addresses that was available, made available in the 3.0 release. And that is important because and not everybody knows, but FIO domains and FIO addresses are actually NFTs. So we had ability to transfer the domain NFT previously, and that may actually become interesting as soon as some of the FIO domains start to be available in some of the NFT marketplaces, which is something we're working on as well. And now, because of some technical issues, we couldn't make the FIO address transfer ability possible at that time, but it is possible now. So you can transfer FIO address as an NFT just like you can a domain. This may actually also be useful if you want to transfer a FIO address between your wallets without having to export your private keys and import it to another wallet. But if you actually have as two separate accounts and two separate wallets, and you're thinking, hey, actually, I would like to use that FIO address and control it from a different wallet. One way of doing it is obviously importing private keys, but another way is now you can actually transfer that FIO address to that other wallet, which is pretty cool. The next one is enabling the locking of FIO tokens. That's FIP6. This is a little bit kind of in the weeds functionality. It does build the groundwork for us rolling out staking, which is coming in the near future, because as part of unstaking, the tokens will be locked for 7 days when you unstake them. So this is an important element to get that accomplished, and that's been launched. The next one, which is FIP7, is the ability to burn a FIO address. So in FIO protocol, it's a fully decentralized self-sovereign protocol. Every user controls the FIO private, the FIO address with their own private key, and that gives them and only them full control over all of the functionality of the FIO address. And before, you could register a FIO address, but you couldn't actually destroy it. So now you have the ability to remove that FIO address from the state, from the chain, if you choose to do so, which you may want to do for privacy concerns, or if you just don't want that address to be out there anymore, that is now possible. let's see, FIP9 is allows you to vote for block producers and proxy your votes without FIO address. So previously, in order to vote or proxy, you needed to have a FIO address and use that FIO address as part of the proxy or vote. We are now making it a little easier, even if you have funds in a wallet that perhaps doesn't have a FIO address for whatever reason. You can now actually vote from that account without having to worry about the FIO address. So that's an enhancement. Of course, we encourage everybody who is holding whatever amount of FIO tokens to be voting. So that's one extra step to make things easier for you. And please vote. Next one here. FIP10 makes it easier for block producers to update FIO transaction fees. So this is something that I don't know if everybody knows, but the way the FIO chain is built, it allows block producers to very easily control the amount that the fees cost on the FIO chain, and they can do that very easily and quickly in response to, for example, changes in the price of the FIO token. So this FIP10 makes it a little bit more easier for them to accomplish that. Next one, FIP11A enables users to purchase FIO transaction bundles. So hopefully everybody's aware, and the construct of transaction bundles is basically a very unique construct for the FIO chain. It allows the user to not have to worry about gas fees. Those that have been interacting with all sorts of different blockchains, especially the ones that are expensive, can probably relate that it's a nuisance. So every time you have to do a transaction, you have to worry about, do I have enough tokens? How much is the gas fee? And paying that on every transaction. When we initially built the FIO protocol, we wanted to kind of take that complexity away from users. So we introduced this construct of bundled transactions where if you register a FIO address, you get 100 bundled transactions, and then you can actually use those bundled transactions to execute certain transactions to the chain without having to pay gas fees. So you can update your mappings, you can send a FIO request, you can respond to a FIO request, and not have to worry about paying for those. And for those users who are not using like an extremely large amount of transactions, it should actually last you for a full year. That was kind of how it was designed to work. Now, previously you had to renew the FIO address in order to get new set of bundle transactions. We're now actually allowing you to just buy those straight without the construct of renewing FIO addresses. And there is actually another, I know it's not 3.0, but I'll kind of throw it in there. There is another initiative out there to actually eliminate expiration dates for FIO addresses altogether. It's not been yet approved, but it's kind of starting to circulate through the community. If you feel have an opinion, that would encourage you to comment and have your voice heard in terms of whether you think it's a good idea or bad idea. Next one, FIP13, ability to retrieve all public addresses for a FIO address. So obviously, FIO address key usage is that it contains mappings to all sorts of blockchains out there. And any wallet that you're using that has integrated a FIO protocol, when you punch in the FIO address, it goes and looks up the corresponding public address and returns that to you. This just makes it a little easier on the integrating wallet to make that call and return that data, so that your product, your wallet that you're in, actually works more seamlessly.
Yeah, definitely. Some of these, Pawel, are more centered around our partners and integration features as opposed to directly to the user. That's
right.
Yeah.
FIP16, CLIO, Eric, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, CLIO is the command line FIO tool. It's used by developers, but a lot by our VPs. Things like CP setting and things like that often happen through CLIO. So this was just, there was a backlog of new features that we needed to add into the command line access for the developers. That's part of FIP16.
Boring.
No, it definitely enables a lot of additional tools that get built on top of CLIO. So it's kind of infrastructure built. Yep.
And I want to keep in focus for, those who may be less or familiar with FIO, but FIO protocol is open source, it's decentralized, right? So the foundation is part that helps kind of fund and the developments here for this whole consortia of what I call the FIO fam, right? So you've got your community members and users, plus the token holders, plus you've got the block producers who are securing the network and keeping it decentralized. You also have the wallets, the exchanges, and the service providers that are enabling these transactions to take place. So a lot of these developments are, you know, that whole 360 thinking and addressing all of these, the FIO fam, as I call it.
That's a good point.
All right, next one, FIP 18, more easily map ERC20 tokens to your FIO address. This is, again, one of those making it easier on the wallets to integrate the FIO protocol, but it also actually has a very specific benefit to the user as well, in that previously, if you wanted to map multiple tokens on a particular chain, so Ethereum is a perfect example where there are thousands and thousands of tokens, but typically users just have one account. They have an Ethereum account which has its public address, and then you can send any token to that same public address. Previously with FIO, if you wanted to map each one of those tokens, you actually had to repeat the same address over and over and over, and obviously that was more complicated for the wallet that integrates FIO, but also potentially costs more money or bundle transactions to the user. Well, we now added the ability to allow basically for you to map all tokens on a particular chain with just a single entry. With that approach, you don't even have to worry about tokens being added in the future. You're just basically saying, hey, anything on, say, Ethereum, this is, you know, my public address, just send it here, and you don't have to worry about each one of those tokens. FIP 19, enable wallets to efficiently retrieve FIO request data. Again, it's one of those making it easier for the integrator to fetch large sets of FIO requests. If you are sending lots of them, this particular FIP is going to make the performance of returning that much easier. And similarly to FIP 25, accessing bundle transaction count as well. The idea here is that we're now enabling the wallets to very easily fetch how many bundle transactions, which we just talked about, is still attached to a particular FIO address, and give you that information, so you can always track that inside your wallet. And there are also a bunch of FIO performance improvements. Again, kind of same concept. Eric, you want to talk to those?
Yeah. So I mean, as we start getting where over a year into mainnet launch of FIO Chain, we're starting to look at what we can do to all those improvements to help integrators make crypto easier using FIO. These are about improving the protocol and the chain in general through performance improvements. I'd look at it in two distinct kind of ways to improve performance. One is how much data is in there, and we call that the state. So as the state gets larger, it gets more and more costly for block producers to host FIO and the protocol. So you have to be you have to always be aware of how large your state is getting, and there's performance where you might want to reduce state. And that is an upcoming, we're probably looking at later this fall, looking at some state improvements. This one that we did more recently had to do with the storage and retrieval of FIO request data or other blockchain data, OBT, what we call OBT data. And so the second piece of performance is CPU performance, right? How many cycles it takes to actually process a request. If you're retrieving a lot of FIO requests, as you mentioned, or or actually adding a lot of FIO requests, and could take a lot of cycles. So this feature was a big one. It actually took a large chunk of this release, was to improve that cycle time for FIO requests. And we'll be doing those over time, kind of the tightening of the bolts on performance on this protocol, so it scales more and more as more and more users come on, and as more and more integrators start integrating.
I think of like this video in particular, going into a lot of these details that are touching the different consortia members to the protocol. It's kind of like a look under the hood. If you were to look at like PayPal or Venmo or any of these others, like, you know, the average person, they don't care how it works. They just care that it works. So this video is more for those that are looking to understand like how FIO is thinking, how we're moving towards achieving mass adoption, because we understand innately at the core of what we're doing is to make it very easy, joyful, friendly, to enhance that experience in cryptocurrency, to remove that complexity. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, we hit on a couple of things that are painful for anybody in crypto today, which is, performance for one, enhancing that, as well as the fees, right? So if you think of FIO in a later stage, or maybe even soon, where a merchant might be using, or El Salvador, or whoever is using the protocol on a regular basis, they need those performance upgrades, and they need to be able to manage with their fees and everything else for the user and for the business. So this is super exciting. Pawel, do you have anything else that you want to add as it relates to FIO version 3.0 and kind of the role that it's playing in the ecosystem? What kind of differentiators there might be that we want to highlight?
Yeah, I think the like we discussed, the primary benefit here of this release is to make things faster, better, performant, and easier on the user and the integrator. So a lot of the features in this release are kind of designed for that. But we do have more features that are more consumer-facing coming soon that are going to be super exciting. So I can't wait for that.
I said to, if you're familiar with watching this video, David Goldie is one of the original founders of FIO as well. And I said to him this morning, I said, I've never been more excited than I am today about FIO and marketing and what we're doing, because I know what's been going on. If you're in the community, you've been keeping up on the Twitter, the Discord, Telegram, wherever you're at, you'll notice that there's a lot of activity. And I've gotten a lot of compliments too. For a blockchain company, typically, or project, I should say, there's the community sentiment in crypto is used to seeing things delayed and taking a long time. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback just from friends and colleagues in the industry at how fast the team is moving, how clean everything is. Nothing's ever perfect, but still it's pretty stellar compared to what's out there. So cheers to you guys and your teams and your leadership for this and bringing this to life.
Thanks, Kaitie.
Thanks, Kaitie.
All right. So I guess on that note, we should sign off for now. All of the links are in the bottom. I am going to, and you can check out that there's also going to be a timestamp that I'll include for the different FIPS that we've gone over, so you can know where to jump to in the video. All right. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, so long.